Hello everyone, my name is Matthew, and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome back to Hebrew Basics, a series where we learn the essentials of Hebrew grammar. Today, we are going to be doing a practice and review of everything we've learned from lessons 37 to 40 in this series. Throughout these past 4 lessons, we've mainly been focusing on how to make the imperative in Hebrew, which is the fifth and final tense of Hebrew grammar. The imperative is used to give commands or orders in Hebrew. Just like the present tense, the imperative has 4 forms: masculine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural. To make the masculine singular form of the imperative, we can often use the Hebrew future tense. For example, yichtov is a future tense verb that means he will write. The yi prefix means that the subject is he and the tense is future. The masculine singular form of the imperative can almost always be made by taking a future tense verb like this one, removing its prefix, and if possible, putting a dagesh in the first letter. That makes ketov, which is how we order a man write. The feminine plural form of the imperative can also be made from the future tense, specifically the form used for the pronouns aten, you feminine plural, and hen, they in feminine form. The verb tichtovna, for example, means you will write feminine plural, or they will write in feminine form. We can remove the t prefix from this verb and add a dagesh in the first letter to make ketovna, which is how you order a group of women write. The other 2 forms of the imperative, the feminine singular and masculine plural, can be made from the masculine singular form by changing the 2 vowels to a hirik and shva. Then adding an e ending, we make kit v, which is how you order a woman write. And adding an u ending, we make kit vu, which is how you order a group of men, or a mixed group, write. In modern Hebrew, it is also very common to use the masculine plural form of the imperative kit vu to order a group of women write. As I said, the masculine singular and feminine plural forms of the imperative can be made from certain forms of the future tense. This means that if a certain root is irregular in the future tense, it will also be irregular in the imperative. For example, if a root ends with olive, the last vowel of its future tense will be a kamatz instead of a cholam, as in yikra, he will read. Removing the yi prefix, we get kra, which is how you order a man read, which keeps the kamatz of the future tense. And the future tense verb for you will read feminine plural or they will read in feminine form is tikrena. Taking off the t prefix, we get krena to be the feminine plural command read. Despite these irregularities in the future tense, the feminine singular and masculine plural forms of the imperative are regular. Kir'i, read commanding a woman, and kir'u, read commanding a masculine plural group. Let's say, write to them tonight, speaking to a man. The imperative write, speaking to a man, is ketov, and to them is lahem. Tonight is halayla, literally, the night. Ketov lahem halayla, write to them tonight. Ketov lahem halayla. Let's say, hear this, speaking to a woman. The imperative here will be from the root shin, mem, ayin. Since it is a feminine singular imperative, its vowels will be a hirik and a shva, and it will have an e ending. Shim-i, here. This, as the definite direct object of a verb, is et ze. Shim-i et ze, hear this. Shim-i et ze. And let's also say, work all evening, speaking to a masculine plural group. The imperative work will be from the root ayin, beit, dalet. Since this is a masculine plural imperative, its vowels will be a hirik and a shva, and it will have an u ending. Ivdu, work, commanding a group of men or a mixed group. The expression all evening will be all the evening in Hebrew. All is kol, the is ha, and evening is erev. Kol ha'erev, all evening. Ivdu kol ha'erev. Worked all evening. Ivdu kol ha'erev. To make negative commands in Hebrew, we use the word al, which means don't. Let's say, don't eat the soup, speaking to a man. Don't is al, and eat will be the ata, you masculine singular, form of the future tense, tochal. With negative commands in Hebrew, we don't use the imperative form, but the future tense with the word al. Al tochal, do not eat. The soup is hamarak, and since this is the definite direct object of the verb tochal, the word et must go before it. Al tochal et hamarak. Don't eat the soup. Al tochal et hamarak. As I said before, the masculine singular and feminine plural forms of most imperatives can just be made by removing the prefix from a verb in the future tense. However, there are a few exceptions to this rule. If the first letter of the root of the verb is a chet, as in yachshov, he will think, when we take off the prefix, we are left with a shva under the first letter chet, which cannot happen. So we must change this to a patach shva to make chashov, the masculine singular imperative, think. The same thing happens when we take the verb tachshovna, ye will think feminine plural, or they will think in feminine form, to make the feminine plural imperative, think. We take off the ta prefix and change the vowel under the first letter chet to a patach shva. That makes chashovna, think, commanding a group of women. Certain roots whose first letter is aleph have irregular forms of the future tense, such as tochal, ye will eat. The masculine singular imperative of these kinds of roots will have its vowels as a segol shva and a cholam. So the command eat is echol, and we can add a na to this to make echolna, eat, commanding a group of women. To make the masculine singular imperative of a root that ends with hey, we can take a future tense verb such as yir'eh, he will see, remove the prefix, and also change the segol at the end to a tsere. That makes ra'eh to be the masculine singular command see. To make the feminine singular imperative of roots ending with hey, we take the masculine singular imperative, remove the last letter hey and the tsere, and replace them with an e ending. Ra'i, see, commanding a woman. The same for the masculine plural imperative, but with an u ending. Ra'u, see, commanding a group of men. If the second root letter is an aleph, ein, chet, or hey, the masculine singular imperative will be regular, such as bachar, which is how you command a man, choose. The feminine singular and masculine plural imperatives, though, will be irregular, because they cannot put their shva under an aleph, ein, chet, or hey. So their vowels will not be a hirik and a shva, but a patach and a patach shva. So choose commanding a woman is bachari, and choose commanding a masculine plural group is bacharu. Certain roots beginning with yod or nun, and a few other irregular roots, will not show their first root letter in the future tense. For example, the verb yelech, he will go, is from the root hey lamed kaf, but it does not show its first letter hey. To make the masculine singular imperative go, we just take off this prefix to make lech, go, commanding a man. To make the feminine singular and masculine plural imperatives of these roots that only show the last two root letters, we shorten the vowel to a shva and add an e or u ending. Lechi, go, commanding a woman, and lechu, go, commanding a masculine plural group. Let's say, sing to me please, commanding a group of men. The masculine singular imperative sing can be made from the verb like yashir, he will sing, by removing the future tense prefix. That makes shir. Once we have this masculine singular command, we can add an u ending to make shiru, sing, commanding a masculine plural group. To me is li, and please is bavakasha. Shiru li bavakasha. Sing to me, please. Shiru li bavakasha. Once the people have sung to us, we should say toda, which means thank you. The people can then respond with you're welcome. There are a few different ways they could say this. They could say bavakasha, which means both please and you're welcome, basimcha, or ein ba'ad ma. In Hebrew, commands given to specific people and general commands are made differently. Let's say, please do not sit here, as a general command. That is, an instruction to everybody. Please could be bavakasha, but we can also use a more formal version, which is na. To say do not sit as a general command, we will not use al to mean not, but lo. And the verb sit will not be the imperative, but the infinitive lashevet. And here is kan. Na lo lashevet kan. Please do not sit here. Na lo lashevet kan. The final thing we've learned in these lessons is the verb to be, which is lihiot. This verb is somewhat irregular in the infinitive because it has a shva under its first letter he. The same irregularity happens with its future tense, as in the verb ehyeh, I will be, which has a shva under its first root letter he. The imperative will have a single shva on this first root letter he, as in heyeh, which is how you order a man be. Also, the past tense of this verb for the subject he, she, pronounces the yod as a vowel instead of a consonant. Haita, she was. Let's say don't be sad, speaking to a man. Don't is al, and the verb be in a negative command will be in the future tense. Since we're speaking to a man, this future tense verb will be in the ata, you masculine singular form, which is tihyeh, with the t prefix. And sad is atzuv. Al tihyeh atzuv. Don't be sad. Al tihyeh atzuv. Let's say be happy, speaking to a woman. The verb be will be the feminine singular imperative heyi, with the e ending. And the adjective happy will be the feminine singular form of sameach, which is samecha. Heyi samecha. Be happy. Heyi samecha. We've seen before that the word yesh can mean there is or there are. This word is only used in the present. If we want to talk about things that were in the past, or things that will be in the future, we must use the verb lihiot, to be. For example, to say there is a building here, we say yesh, there is, po, here, binyan, a building. Yesh po binyan, there is a building here. To say there was a building here, we must use the past tense of the verb lihiot. This past tense verb will be in the hu, he form, because the word binyan is a masculine singular word. So this is haya. Haya po binyan. There was a building here. And to say there will be a building here, we use the future tense yihyeh. Yihyeh po binyan. There will be a building here. We can use the word ein to mean there is not or there are not. In the past or future, we must use the word lo with the verb lihiot. So there is not a building here is ein po binyan. There was not a building here is lo haya po binyan. And there will not be a building here is lo yihyeh po binyan. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. And if you want to learn more Hebrew, please consider subscribing to my channel and checking out some of my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.